Well, I just sent her the link again.
Okay. So let me see. Should I put it? I'll put it. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Look at us. You get to see all the behind the scenes stuff. I was just talking to a friend yesterday who's about to start a podcast. And I was like, she's like, what's the best advice you can give me? And I was like, start off letting people know that you don't know what you're doing.
I couldn't hear anything you're saying. What?
Sorry. So that's okay, because it was good for everybody else. So I said that yesterday I was talking to a friend who's starting a podcast, and she asked me for advice, like, what would you do? Like, what would you tell me? And I said, start off your podcast making sure people know that you do not know what you're doing, because then they will never have expectations of you to be a great podcaster. So,
right.
Like,
right. You could say,
we're
just
here.
starting out.
Yep, we're figuring it out. Oh, there's
Mhm.
Lynn. I'm going to let Lynn in. All right. There we go. And she should be joining us any minute. This is very exciting. Oh, there she is. All right. Hello.
Yay!
Hey, Lynn.
I kept getting a message saying the host will let you in soon. The host will let you in soon. Okay.
And I kept watching and waiting for you to show up. It's so interesting, this like life that we're leading now. This is how we connect with each other. And I'm telling you, like, Zoom does not love me. Like every time I think I have it together, it's like, hey, you're gonna look like an idiot to the person who's trying to get into your meeting.
I don't think Zoom loves anyone. I have to do all my teaching now through Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a nightmare. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. So would you, this is the Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast, and I know that you know Shelly, because she's part of the, she's on the inside like you are of the Supernatural family, and I'm so jealous. I got to do some cool stuff when the Giving Tour came to Indianapolis, which was all, because Shelly is awesome. So that was really cool. But I haven't got to do any of the cool stuff that you get to do, Lynn. So that's why I'm so excited to talk to you and hear about, the inside, and kind of share with our listeners and viewers, sort of what your journey has been like with Supernatural, because you've now, is this book number 6 that's coming out, or do you have 6 books already out?
I think this is the 6th that's coming out.
This isn't even the trivia part of the show that I'm doing.
I'm not good with numbers. Like, don't ask me number. No, I think this is book number 6 on Supernatural.
Oh, wow. Okay. And this will be, I hate to say it's the last one. I'm glad you're here. Shelly said that you can counsel us.
Hey, she's a PhD. She can help us through it with our issues and our feelings.
I can try, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting my PhD into good use with my own self too.
I bet. Yeah, we're all being tested right now. So the book is called There'll Be Peace When You Are Done. And, this is, I guess the book in some ways, Lynn, is meant to be therapeutic for those of us who are saying goodbye to our favorite show. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's really why we wanted to do it, because I felt like we all need like something to hang on to, especially like a tangible thing to hang on to, almost like a transitional object to kind of get us through this and to remind us of what was so wonderful about this and why it was so special.
How many tears did you shed while you were putting this book together?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, it was really emotional putting it together, knowing that it was kind of the goodbye to the show and the remembrance of the show. And then every time I got somebody's draft, they had written something that was so emotional from their own personal view of saying goodbye to the show and what it meant to them, that just made me even more emotional. So yeah, there were a lot of tears.
Oh, I can't imagine. Because can you say who some of the stars and people associated with the show are that will be appearing in the book, kind of sharing those thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Well, Jensen and Jared both have chapters that will definitely make you cry.
I can't even.
They had a lot to say, and it's emotional. It's 15 years for them, so they are so emotional about saying goodbye to the show and remembering the show that, yeah, their chapters, even now, and I've read them and I've edited them, and they've gone back and forth multiple times, like I should be immune to it by now or something. But even now, I opened the book. The box came with like the actual copies of the book yesterday, so I got to see the actual copies of the book. And so of course I had to like leaf through the entire thing and just, see how it came together. So of course I couldn't stop myself from reading as I'm looking, and damned if Jensen's chapter didn't make me cry all over again.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm excited about it, and I was trying to think, has there ever been, I mean, obviously we're in the fandom, right? So we're like, this is the best fandom, but has there
It
is, right?
Yeah.
Has there been anything that's compared to this? Has anyone ever, like written a book for fans to really sort of embrace with the cast saying goodbye to a show?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've said for so long that this cast is just so unusual. And in part, it's the relationship between the actors and the fans that's so unusual, partly because of the conventions that have been going on for like 13 years. So, if maybe initially these actors, had prejudices or stereotypes or something about fans, I don't know. But there's no way they could sustain them with doing conventions every 2 weeks over the course of like 13 years. All the research shows that when you actually interact face to face with other humans, all your stereotypes and stigmas fall away. So they really respect fans. And I think that's part of why they were open to doing this. Again, almost every single person I asked, the same thing happened with Family Don't End with Blood. Every time I asked one of the actors, do you want to write a chapter? I was sort of waiting for them to be like, no, I'm not a writer. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Every single person was like, yeah, I have something really important to say to the fandom. That's extraordinary.
It's amazing. And I know, Shelley, that you have, similar experiences with, with touring with the convention as well. And not only just like that, I mean, it's a true connection between the fans, the actors, the crew, the vendors. Like there's so much of it that is just, it's connected in a way. And Shelley would tell me about it. I hadn't been to a convention until Indianapolis, and I'm so hoping that the world gets back to the way it's supposed to be so that we can have Indianapolis. Oh my gosh.
Then I can meet you in person, because I plan to go to that one. So yes, I hope it. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about like what we're feeling as far as this sort of bizarro world that we're in now, where you were writing this book and getting ready to release it because the end was supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
And so now, like, what is it like? I would love to kind of hear from both of you, like how you are feeling as we sort of approach that date that we know was supposed to be the final episode. And we're in this like limbo of when is that final episode going to come? Like, how long is this goodbye going to last?
Yeah. Shelley, go ahead.
Okay, well, I know Lynn has a few different feelings because of her timing and her schedules. For me, I'm kind of glad that it's going to be drawn out and we get a little bit more time with them. Not only from like a business perspective, because for my business, it's better for me because it gives me longer to sell supernatural things while people are still really engaged and the show is still new and fresh and happening. So of course, selfishly, yay. But from a personal perspective, I think that it's such a hard time right now. And a great example is that Schitt's Creek that we've talked about ended the other night. And I turned around to my daughter and we both cried. We cried during the after show. And I said, thank goodness Supernatural, like I'm getting goosebumps. Thank goodness Supernatural is not ending now next month, because I don't know mentally how I would handle that given the state of our world. And I'm glad that we have some time to get beyond this, hopefully, knock on wood, when we have to say goodbye to the Winchesters.
Oh, you can't even say it.
No.
Oh, you just got choked up.
I did.
Totally hear that in your voice. Oh.
Oh, do you need to hug the kitty?
I do. I wish I was there. Yeah.
Lynn, I have 5 cats that are sitting right outside the door, furious that the door is shut and only this kitty gets to be in here with me.
That's the only one that you know is going to stay quiet and well behaved.
Yes, Stuffy is very well behaved. So what about you, Lynn? What was it like when, I think that we had some, there was some uncertainty of like, what is going to happen, and do we just not get a show? And now we know that we are going to get an ending. But what has that sort of been like for you, especially with having, a big piece of your life and your work tied into it?
I have such incredibly mixed feelings. I mean, I do agree with what Shelley said. Schitt's Creek is something that I watch too when I'm like looking for just an escape and a feel-good thing. Like Schitt's Creek is like one of my go-tos. But I'm not caught up, so I still have plenty of Schitt's Creek to watch. So I feel good about that. The only other show that I love is The Magicians, and that just ended. I don't know, what are the chances that I don't watch much TV? The 3 shows that I watch, Schitt's Creek, The Magicians, and Supernatural, are all ending in the same year. Like,
oh my God.
It's like some horrible pop culture conspiracy.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
So I do understand that. Like, I do feel like just sort of emotionally, I'm not in a place where I want to deal with the loss of something that is so important to me. So, there is a part of me that is glad that it's not ending and it is sort of dragging on. It's made it complicated because, putting out a book in the amount of time that we put out this book is ridiculous. Like, we didn't really have enough time to do this book. When I pitched it to the publisher, God bless them, they're the ones who worked with me on Family Don't End with Blood, so they knew me. Mm-hmm. But when I said to them, I really like to do this, but it's only worth doing if like we can get it out when people are going to need it, which is when the show goes off the air. So that's really important to me. And they were like, May, are you crazy? Like, that's insane. We can't do it. There's no way we can do it. And we really killed ourselves doing it. And the actors and fans who wrote chapters killed themselves doing it. And we got it out. It's going to come out on May 5th, right when people need it. Except the show is not going to end in May after all. So, I mean, I still feel like people really need it. We could have made a decision if we really needed to be like, well, let's wait. But I feel like maybe they need it even more now. We need something to hang on to that's positive and celebratory. And that way they'll have it when the show comes back and goes into its final run. It'll already be there as a transitional object. So I think it's actually going to work out.
Good. Well, I had one question from a member of our Kind of Nerdy Network group on Facebook. Chrissy wanted to know, and it sounds like maybe you answered it, but just to clarify, there's nothing in your book that would spoil anything about how it ends, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
It's just sort of a sharing of emotions and people's thoughts on the journey coming to an end.
Yes. No, there's no spoilers. In fact, I don't know how it's going to end. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't want to. It's really important to me I'm not even really hypothesizing very much about how I think it's going to end, because I don't want to have expectations and then be disappointed. I just want to ride the wave and see what happens.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You fit in very well with our show. We try to, that's why we're kind of nerdy. Like, we try not to get so into it that we're like, that's not right. And I hated that because I wanted it to go this way. Like, I'm enjoying the story that's being told. Although I did not enjoy that, like, that gut check of, like, you know, everybody's caught up here, right? Like, yeah, like Jack gets his soul back, and then he's so crushed by what he's done. And then that, like, and that is the final thing, the final, you know, thing that we have in our brains of, you know, until it comes back, is just Jack being crushed. And I was like, it can't end like this. They have to make more. Like, that is.
I think I put in my episode review, that is where we're ending. There, yeah.
Right. I even thought to myself, if they knew they couldn't make any more, maybe they should have kept that one from us too, because that.
I feel like that they all said, I feel like that and correct me if I'm wrong, Lynn, but I feel like the showrunners and some of the actors said, oh no, that was a great episode to end on. And I'm like, what? No.
Sometimes they don't experience things in the same way that we do. I mean, I think it's different because they've already filmed quite a few more episodes. Right. They're just not done in post. So they're ahead of us. You know, they were already into episode 19 when they got shut down. So that was not an ending point for them in any way, shape, or form. That was just another day at the office.
Yeah, so for them, that's like already in the past, and they probably were like, oh yeah, that was a great episode. They weren't sitting there with us going, what? What?
Yeah.
I need to come through my screen and hug Jack and, like, let him hug Stuffy.
Yes.
You got to hand it to Alex Calvert. I mean, he really, like all of them, I mean, you got to hand it to the casting agent, actually, because they just keep hiring people who are just incredible, who can just make you feel so much. I mean, no matter, even people, like, I know plenty of people who are not big fans of the Jack character, but there is nobody who looked at that and didn't say, holy crap, Alex Calvert really brought it in that scene.
Yeah. He did. Yeah, he did. And he just kept bringing it. And then it faded to black. And oh, no. And my husband isn't caught up. So I was like having an emotional breakdown. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. Like, yeah, you should watch that episode. Totally. Maybe you just want to wait a bit.
Yeah. Or have your tissues ready for sure.
Yes. So both of you, you know, kind of have some insight with these, with the actors and the characters. Could you give us a little bit, just sort of off the top of your head, in spending time with them? Is there anyone who is like the most like their character, in your opinion?
I don't know them personally like Lynn does at all. I've only like met them in ops and stuff. So Lynn's going to have to take this one.
That's true. We see you with your hugs and stuff, Shelley. Yeah. But I know how fast those ops go.
Yeah.
Well, nobody has ever asked me that. I think they all have similarities with the actors who have been on a long time at this point all have similarities with their characters, because when you're on a show playing the same character for such a long period of time, 10 years or 15 years or something like that, there is necessarily some bleed between you and the character. So the character takes on some of the actor's attributes and the actor takes on a little bit of the attributes of the character. So I wouldn't say that they don't have some similarities, but none of them are that much like their characters. And it's such a mark of them being good actors, because if you watch, I've had the absolute pleasure of watching them film a number of times. And when you're watching them film, you can see who they are, even when they're not saying a word. Like, I don't even know, I'm not an actor, I don't even know how that happens, but you can look at them and you can say, oh, that's Sam, or, oh, no, that's Jared. And I don't even know how, but I think that's a mark of how good they are at snapping back and forth between those two personas. And so they are different.
Yeah. I do feel like that they, as actors, that they sort of, when they talk about them at the conventions and stuff, they talk about stepping into the characters, like, you know, how when they get the like flannel shirts on and, you know, whatever. But one funny thing that I do remember either reading or seeing in an interview, or maybe it was at a convention. I mean, I think before they started Supernatural, Jensen, I don't think he was necessarily a big fan of classic rock, and I don't think he liked pie. And
really?
right. And
Who doesn't
now
like pie? What's up with that?
I don't like pie.
I'm not a big fan of pie either, but which is,
I don't like pie. Sorry.
I know. And then Jensen's like, now I listen to classic rock all the time, and I love pie. So, so I thought that was really funny, because I think that, you know, obviously any work that you do is going to influence your life, or, you know,
sure.
influence you going forward. But,
I mean, think about not liking something and then the amount of takes that he's had to eat it. Like, at some point he had to make his peace with it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that now he doesn't like it. I mean, I like it, but I've watched people like have to film a scene where they eat something. It's horrendous. I mean,
he likes it. He likes it now, Lynn. He likes it now.
All right. That's good. I'm happy for him.
Right. Yes. I mean, like, I would love to know the day that he was on set when he was like, you know what? I think I've decided that after all of this pie, I kind of like it. We actually, my husband and I were just talking about that the other night, because we're big fans of Doctor Who, and they're doing a Doctor Who lockdown rewatch. And so they tell you what episode to watch and tweet along with it. And we were watching the 11th hour and Matt Smith eating fish fingers and custard. And I was oh my God, how many times did he have to eat fish fingers and custard? That had to be terrible. Like, welcome to being to the doctor.
Yeah.
Eat a gallon of custard and fish fingers over and
it's just gross.
Yeah,
it's so gross.
Yeah. Even if something is good for the first couple of bites, 20 times later, I don't care how good it was to start, it is not going to be good.
Yeah. So, Lynn, let me ask you, I mean, because it's Supernatural, you were talking about, you don't watch a lot of TV shows. So Supernatural is your family and your fandom. Will there be a hole in your life? Are you going to try to look for something else? I mean, what do you do if you don't have Supernatural? That's what we all want, right?
Yeah. No, that's a really good question, because I do tend to be kind of fandom monogamous, you know, like when I fall for something, that's kind of the only thing that I really care about. So, and I'm not the kind of person who is always fanish. I sort of have had consecutive sort of fanish experiences, but it's not all the time for me. And I've never had something that lasted 15 years. And you know, it's not just like the television show I love, all that. That's still a big part of it for me, but it's also a big part of my professional life. You know, I got my tenure and promotion at the university on my fan studies research on Supernatural and the books that I've published.
That is so cool.
I know. And it's a lot of my social life, you know. I have all my convention buddies and my fandom friends, and you know, we travel all over together. I mean, it's a huge part of my life. So I really don't know. My children, every time I try to say to my kids, well, I'm going to be around a lot more, I'm going to be a lot less busy, they very skeptically are like, we've heard that for the past 15 years. I do not believe it at all. Right. But it might be true. I don't know.
Well, I gotta say, I feel like, and not to answer this for Lynn, but I also feel like just because the show is ending, that doesn't mean that any of the other stuff is. Like, there are still going to be conventions. I mean, you know, knock on wood, but they're, you know, hopefully going to keep doing conventions, and we're going to keep being fans. And so even though we won't have a new show, you know, during the season, it doesn't mean that all the other stuff that we do as fans together has to stop.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It'll be different. Yeah. For sure it'll be different, but it's not like, you know, on the whatever the day is that the last episode airs, everything is just going to disintegrate into powder. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I might.
Well, I might too. But
all right. So on our show, Lynn, we always do some trivia, and normally I am one of the participants, but I was like, I've got Lynn here and I've got Shelly here, and they know Supernatural way better than I do. I'm one of those people who can watch it over and over, and I like don't like, I'm like, I never picked up on that before.
Oh no, guess what? No, I'm terrible.
Okay, good.
Shelley, you are gonna win. I am
no.
terrible.
Well,
I don't know.
Well then, Lynn, this is going to be great because no one on our show has ever been good at trivia. As a matter of fact,
I fit right in.
You fit right in. We call it terrible trivia because if the questions are great, no one ever gets them right.
That's right.
But I try not to be too hard on you guys. So when you know the answer, chime in with your name. Oh, wait. I know, Lynn, that Dean is your favorite. So you holler Dean. Shelley, what do you want to holler?
I'll holler Sam.
You'll holler Sam? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to let you say Cass if you wanted to, but I appreciate it.
I got to be Sam. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're Sam and you're Dean. Okay, here we go. What prophet of the Lord is chosen to interpret the word of God after Sam and Dean break it out of the slab of stone it is trapped in?
Sam.
Go ahead, Sam.
Kevin Tran.
Yes.
I was going to say that, but then I started to second guess myself and thought, when? Wait, was that when it was Kevin? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is why I'm really not good at trivia. I would just second guess myself forever.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Osric Chow because he is such an adorable and lovely human being.
Yes.
He really is. He wrote a chapter in Family Don't End with Blood, the previous book, which I adore.
Aw, that's so great. Yeah, I've never had any encounters with him, but anything I've seen, like I follow him on Twitter. He just seems like he's so great with the fans and so happy to be a part of this. And it was great to get to see him again this season.
He is actually the only actor that I know personally because from the start, he came up and started talking to us at our table in the vendor room and asking us, engaging, how'd you start your business, blah, 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 blah. He bought stuff from us. And then at other non-supernatural conventions, he would always come see Ted and I. And as a matter of fact, at WonderCon, he worked our booth for a little bit and told his fans to come over. It was amazing.
Did he really?
He's a really good soul. Yeah.
Aw, that's awesome. I love him even more now. All right. Number 2. What has Sam been scared of since childhood?
Dean.
Go ahead. Clowns. Yes, clowns it is. I don't have my dinger in here. Ding, 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 ding. I got to make my own sound effects.
Wait, can I give trivia to that one too?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Megan Padalecki, who is Jared's sister, she's at the conventions. She wrote Big Mo and some other children's books. Did I get that right, Lynn?
Yeah, Big Mo and Little Moon.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the second one. Thank you. Anyway, she drew a clown face in my convention journal on Jared's face. And she said, did you know that my parents actually decorated his room with clowns when he was a child? Even though he was scared to death of them. No. And I said, why would they do that? And she's like, I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
So there's a similarity. Both Sam Winchester and Jared Padalecki are afraid of clowns, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for that, Shelley. That's so funny. So she did that in one of your journals? So do you have it somewhere?
Yes. Do you want me to get it?
Well, not the second, but when we post this episode,
yes.
I would love for you to share it so people can.
I will totally do that. Yes.
What a cool memory to have. I wonder if Jared even knows that. Oh, you guys.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember. I can't remember if I had him sign that page or not. Maybe. That was a few years ago.
Maybe he's blocked it out.
Right.
That his childhood room was decorated with clowns.
Maybe.
All right. In Scooby Natural, which episode of Scooby-Doo do Sam and Dean get sucked into?
Oh.
All I can think about is Minor 49er. That's the only.
Go ahead, Steffi. A night of fright is no delight.
Oh,
man. It was right on the tip of my tongue. I knew it was something rhyming. I just couldn't get it.
It's all good. What vampire helped Dean escape purgatory?
Dean.
Go ahead, Dean.
Benny.
Benny, yes. Yes, I really liked Benny.
I did too. Ty Olsson, he's talk about great actors. He was so good.
Well, and this is, I don't know, this is a weird fact about me, Lynn, but Dean is also my favorite. And for some reason, I really think he's at his finest when he's in Purgatory. Like, I love how he looks in Purgatory. The blue kind of filter. I'm just like, that's my Dean right there. Purgatory.
Oh, I'm with you. I think most of us really enjoyed Dean in Purgatory, and Jensen also really enjoyed being Dean in Purgatory. So I think it was about 100% of everyone was sad that we didn't get more Dean in Purgatory.
Yes. Well, he's kind of in Purgatory now.
Kind of, yeah.
All right. In season 2, which supernatural actor accidentally hurt himself while trying to do his own stunts? I did not know this one, so it's okay if you guys don't either.
I'm gonna guess that is that when Jared hurt his arm?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, it is. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. Oh, you're killing it, Lynn.
She's kicking my butt.
What Reaper comes to collect Dean's soul after he goes into a coma?
I can see her.
Oh, Tessa.
Yes. Yes. She's Lynn's crushing it.
She is.
That took me quite a while to get to it. Lindsay McKeon.
Yeah. Okay. What is the name of Castiel's human host?
Oh, I know this. Do you know it?
Go ahead.
Look at
I'm trying to get you a Jimmy.
No, go ahead, Lynn. I blanked completely. This is why I'm so bad at trivia. I do know it, but I can't think of it.
Jimmy Novak.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And finally, what was the title of the show originally going to be?
Oh, I don't know that. Do you know this, Lynn?
Oh, I think I have read this at some point.
I know something you don't. I know something.
Yeah, you do. I know they weren't going to be brothers originally, but I don't know.
They were not. The show was originally called Unnatural, and it was going to follow a reporter around.
Right. I knew that part.
Right? Yeah. No. Winchester brothers so much better. Yeah. Well, that was really fun. And Shelley, it's nice that you continue to be terrible at trivia.
I do. I get freaked out and my mind goes completely blank. I can't. Yeah.
So that was a little bit of payback for Shelley because the last time we were at her house, which was like right before we all got put on the stay-at-home stuff.
Yeah.
We were playing games and she got the supernatural trivia out and she got to ask the questions and I was just getting slaughtered. And I finally gave up to the point that every time she asked a question, I just answered blood. And there was finally a point where a question was asked and the answer was blood. And that was the only one I got right.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, I didn't feel the performance anxiety pressure I had, it's just you and me and Patches sitting around talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, this is Jimmy Novak. I mean, whatever.
Oh, I get it. Well, Lynn, thank you so much. Would you please let everybody know who's listening and watching where and when again that we can get your new book?
Yes, you can get the new book called There'll Be Peace When You Are Done. Actors and fans celebrate the legacy of Supernatural.
As we all just start crying.
Do have your tissues ready. It's got chapters written by I think 21 of the actors.
Wow.
And like 20 fans. So there's a lot of emotion and it's all about what the show has meant to people, what their characters have meant to them, what the fandom has meant to them. So it is very emotional, but very, very kind of uplifting, very much a celebration of the show. The release date is May 5th, but you can pre-order it right now at the website peacewhenyouaredone.com. And if you think you're going to buy it anyway, you might want to pre-order it because if you do at that website, the publisher will send you free stuff. So free stuff is always good.
We love free stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the work that you put into, getting this book together so quickly and and for, you know, helping all of us in this fandom and in the Supernatural family to sort of have something to hang on to and really get that connection once again, that it's not just a show, but that we are a part of something bigger than that. With the Supernatural family. We appreciate that so much. And thanks for kicking Shelley's butt in trivia. Yeah.
Anytime. Thanks for having me. I always love talking Supernatural, so please ask me back to talk Supernatural anytime.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure talking with you, Lynn. Best of luck with the book.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, Shelley.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye, Shelley.
Bye, KJ.